Hey there, welcome back to Owl Dragon Adventures. I'm Scott Kegler.
And I'm Rob MacPherson.
And today we're here to talk about my top 10 board games as of 2021. So very excited to talk about my top 10 games and get Rob's reactions on them as we go through them. These are just my top 10 right now. They are not what I think are the best top 10 games of all time.
Yeah.
These are just the top 10 games that I enjoy. We both went through an exercise through an Excel spreadsheet of determining what game we'd prefer to play. You had kind of like, if I had everything on the table, mine was a little bit different.
Okay.
In that it was just like what games like experience or
sure.
Emotionally, like what is the experience I prefer to have?
Yeah, and I think that's probably a better way to do it because mine kind of unfairly nudged some of the solo games down my list just because I'm like, well, if I have all the options on the table, I'm not going to play a solo game in a group of friends.
Right, and I think for me it was like I was thinking about it because like from the pandemic has really like shifted a lot of for me. Like I am much more of a solo board gamer than I ever was. I really enjoy it more. It's actually. Speaking of nudging things out, like I nudged out video gaming a lot. Like I just don't. I used to play a lot of video games. I still do occasionally, but for me, it's like I'd rather break out
the biggest video game I've played over the past 2 months was Gloomhaven.
Yeah, like I just been playing more board games. I would go on and on and on about this. Maybe I'll do a video about it another day. But like it's a huge difference for me from an anxiety standpoint. I find video games can kind of keep me anxious versus board games have like a natural end to them because I play too many open-ended video games is part of the problem. Anyways, that's how I did it. I did that Excel spreadsheet just as Rob did to help rate the games. Came out with my top 10. It helped remove a lot of the pretension out of it. Like I'm not showing like these are the top 10 games that I want people to know I like. No, these are the top 10 games experiences I would prefer to have.
So in here I've got my guesses on what is going to be on his top 10 in no specific order.
So either if you've seen Rob's top 10 or you'll be watching it after. I only got 4 out of 10 on my guesses on Rob. So
we'll see if I can do better.
Yeah, I'm almost positive you can. Would have been 5 out of 10, but I second guessed myself. Yep. And but so these are my top 10 favorite games as of 2021.
So is that? Let's start with number 10.
My number 10 is Twilight Imperium. This is, as I've described it to Rob, is like a religious experience of a board game.
Yes, this is my shame. I have yet to play Twilight Imperium. We have had to move our date of doing this multiple times now.
But
it's going to happen.
Candidly, I've only played this game probably half a dozen times in my life. Because it takes almost an entire day to play one game if you haven't played it.
I mean, no offense to anybody out here who does this, but people who have played this game for like dozens of times are insane.
So Twilight Imperium is this beautiful 4X game. This is the game that I wanted Risk to be when I was a kid. It is Risk, but you have so many options in this 4X world of what you can do as these different alien races as you're trying to conquer the galaxy, fight each other, but you get to negotiate. There are politics. There's money involved. I love this game because you can play so many different alien races, so many different ways. It is huge table hog. It is a time hog. They say 8 hours. This game takes 12 hours to play a game. I don't care who you are. Or you're playing it wrong because it takes me at least 12 hours. Like I've had to schedule like a day of food.
Yeah, I was going to say you've got to have a lunch break and possibly a dinner break
and a cocktail hour because it is a wonderful game. I have yet actually to break open my 4th edition. I played my 3rd edition most of the times I played it. I've heard that this does trim a little bit of time out, but maybe an hour or 2.
I've already watched several videos to prepare myself for this. I have a few more queued up in my playlist.
But it's on my top 10 list. It's probably not higher just because in my mind when I was doing it emotionally, it takes a lot to set this game up. But as a number 10, had to be there for me. It is a beautifully immense game. If you haven't played it,
find a group.
Find someone that owns it and then work it out because you only need one of these
for a group of 10
and a group of like 6 to 10 people that you play with because you're not going to get it to
What's
the
the
table
max player count? I never remember.
Core game is I think 6.
Okay.
You can play 3 to 6 players. I think with expansions, which the expansion just came out last year.
I
think you can get up to 8. I think.
Okay.
That's how the 3rd edition was. But it's plays best 3 to 6, or plays best 3 or 6. I find numbers in between there are not great.
Oh, cool.
But Twilight Imperium, my number 10. My number 9 is Lost Ruins of Arnak. This is a wonderfully heavy game. You have Arnak?
Got Arnak.
There you go. He's doing well so far.
We talked about Twilight Imperium at the beginning, so I got it, but I'm not going to count it.
But Lost Ruins of Arnak is a fantastic, heavy game. What I like about it is you can really have so many options in a worker placement game for strategy.
I chose all the wrong ones.
Yeah. But we had a 4-player game that was like super close. Everyone had a different strategy.
The top 3 were super close.
Fair enough.
You had triple my points.
Rob had time to go let out his dogs. It is a excellent game of exploration, kind of this Indiana Jones, Tomb Raider feel to it. I just got the expansion, which I'm excited to try out with it. But again, this is probably didn't make it as high on my list as at number 9, simply because this is like they say 30 minutes a player. I think that's a little optimistic.
30 minutes a player. We had 4 players.
2 hours.
Yeah,
and
probably took
minutes.
us 3 hours. So yeah, probably 45 minutes.
And we were moving pretty well in the game, but I just
in
love
defense,
it.
it was our first time.
Yeah, but I like it a lot. You really can kind of dive in and do so many things.
It was pretty high on my list. It didn't make my top 10, but it was up there.
I'm just really excited to get it to a table again. So that's Lost Ruins of Arnak.
So let's look at your number 8.
It's funny because I think the same as yours. My number 8, and actually is Rob's number 8 as well, is Small Samurai Empires.
Negative.
Wow.
Wait, no, yes! That's my last one I wrote down.
Nice. Small Samurai Empires by Archona Games. This is part of their Small Empires collection. I've played all of them so far, and I've enjoyed all of them, but this is the one that sticks with me. It is a really fun action planner game. A game that was dangerously close to my top 10, I think it was number 11, is Rising Sun, which is a much bigger game, but got eked out by other games. This is the one I get to the table more often. Fun action planning. I love, Rob's mentioned it before, where I love how the game kind of like washes through the actions north to south, south to north. I really love how that works. You get a full heavy game feeling and a very small table presence.
Yeah, it's got everything from resource collection to action planning to army building.
Yeah, it's just
area control.
Very fun game.
It's amazing how much fits in that small box.
Yeah, to me like it's right in that vein of like Tiny Epic Games. You get a lot of bang for your buck. Really enjoyed this one. And silly thing, like Tiny Epic Games, the custom cut meeples in this game are excellent.
Oh, they're phenomenal.
I really enjoy having these little samurai.
The best part is that they all the factions have different shapes of the cut meeples.
Well, I mean, like each faction has its own
detail,
own cut meeple. It's fantastic, and I just bought the deluxe tokens for this. They had a sale back around Black Friday, and so happy that I picked it up. It just a big thing for me is tactile sensation in a game, and that just it adds to it having these wooden tokens instead of cardboard. Yeah, really love Small Samurai Empires. That is my number 8.
So, what's your number 7?
My number 7, which I'm surprised. I'm surprised and I'm not surprised I made it this high. Is a solo adventure game. You got this one?
Got this one.
Yeah.
Well, you're the one who convinced me to buy it. Of course, it's going to be on your list.
Some people may be surprised because there's been some noise I heard about, and there's some rulebook issues with the game.
1 or 10.
There are some misprints in the game and the pieces, but I really can just feel the passion that went into designing this game. I love the art. I love the play style. A game that did not make my top 10, so spoilers. I'm not done with my list yet. It was Zombicide. Mm-hmm. As I said to Rob, this is playing Zombicide by yourself.
With rats instead of zombies.
With rats instead of zombies.
Although, is one of the peculiar rats a zombie?
possibly. I don't remember. I haven't played a Peculiar Rat. But I probably played it 20 games so far, and I haven't had it that long.
I just won for the first time last night. I'm super happy.
And like,
it's a hard game.
And like other games I like, I can do difficult games that beat you up and spit you out. I really love this one. So Ratcatcher by Platypus
my
Industries.
only complaint about the game is that my anti-dice foo makes it even harder.
That's probably why I love it, because I don't...
Have you rolled below 6s?
Oh yeah, I mean, I've lost a good amount of games, but like but I also love that there's for a solo game, big thing for me, which is why it actually edged out other solo play games I have. Solid win conditions, where it's like I have an objective,
right?
It's not a point chase. Yeah, it's not just like can I beat my score? Which in the solo gaming community, that's a big thing. But this is a lot of fun. So Ratcatcher is my number 7 by Platypus Industries.
So we'll move on to number 6 now.
Number 6 is Unmatched, specifically Cobble and Fog.
Do I have to have that part of it down?
No, but
right, Unmatched.
This actually edged out a similar kind of punchy game I have in Dice Thrones. Edged this out for the spot. Really love Unmatched. I think part of why I like it a little bit more than Dice Thrones is that the hand management feels a little bit more like you're in control than Dice Throne.
Sure.
And I just love the theme of this game. It is so much fun. I've also played this a lot more than I played Dice Throne.
Ironically, I think I like Dice Throne more, even though the dice hate me and they like you. So you would think that the game that doesn't rely on dice I would like more.
I'm also like a sucker for the miniatures of the game. So like
they're gorgeous.
Particularly the Cobble and Fog. So if you're ever going to pick up Unmatched, this is the game to start with. They have so many versions of the game, but this is the one.
The art design, like forget just the miniatures. The art design in the entire game is flawless in my opinion. We have yet to pick up a card or an item and not be blown away by the direction of the art.
So very happy with it. I'm patiently waiting for my pre-order of the new volume of Battle of Legends.
Should be soon.
I just heard back from them.
Oh, did you?
Yeah. So waiting to hear it. I know that some people already have their copies in hand. I'm jealous, but like I really love Unmatched. Fun game. Never struggled to get it to the table with players. Excellent. Yeah. Play it with anybody. That is my number 6.
So what's your number 5?
My number 5. Number 5 is Last Will.
Nope.
Last Will is a really fun worker placement, small engine builder game. But what I love about it is it's kind of like a reverse engine build.
Yeah.
Where you are, Last Will, you are all members of a family where your rich uncle has recently died. And he wants people to do what he never had a chance to, is to live life to the fullest.
Yeah.
So he gives you all a small stipend at the beginning of the game. And the first person to spend it and have the most luxurious lifestyle and go bankrupt gets the rest of his money, so wins the game.
I was so happy I won the first game. And then I got sad because I realized I won it because it was a little too close to home.
So it's so much fun because you're playing a game where you're trying to lose your resources.
Yeah.
And the theme is so spot on. It plays really fast for a worker placement, small engine building game.
We got one of our party members who doesn't really like worker placement games completely invested in it.
Yeah,
in
it's
10 minutes.
It's super fun. I mean, you're doing silly things. It's probably one of my sillier games in my top 10. Yeah. But like, one game I went to the theater with my horse and then bought us both dinner afterwards because it was so expensive and lavish. Hilarious game by Czech Games Edition.
For the horse, those are expensive.
But I just love the idea of taking your horse to the theater, which apparently
I believe that was your final move.
Yeah,
that was like, you know what? No, we're going.
Yeah, just for fun, I just took my horse to the theater because I was going to lose anyways. But I really love this game. Very fun. Last Will by Czech Games Edition.
So that was your number 5. So we're looking at your number 4 next.
Number 4. My number 4 is another solo game. This is... Wow, I didn't get it. Okay. Barely has any ink, but... is Friday by Friedemann and Friese. This is the game that I became most passionate about in solo games. I was first introduced to solo gaming, like solitaire gaming, like 10 years ago or so when I first was playing Agricola. I did that solo. Enjoyed it, but this was the game in the last year and getting more heavily into the board game hobby with Rob. I picked up and just absolutely fell in love with it. Is a fun, fast game. It was actually in my top 5 for solo games as well.
I really need to pick it up and play it at some point. It's just that every time it's in my shopping cart, I see like 15 other things that I want to play. I'm like, oh no, I know I can play this game anytime I want, so I pick up.
I just love it. It's got a small presence, but a lot of game. It's a deck builder where you are playing Friday, trying to help Robinson Crusoe stay alive on the island by helping him make smarter choices as he goes along.
Yeah, and if you haven't caught it yet, island themes, that's like right up Scott's
I
alley.
absolutely love this. This is like Robinson Crusoe made it high on my list, but not quite my top 10.
I'm sure a shrink would have a field day with your obsession with deserted islands.
Yeah, probably. But, I love the art of the game. I love how fast it plays. This will usually be like my last game of a night if I'm doing a bunch of solo games. I'll play this as like the last thing before I call it a night.
I can't believe I didn't put that down here. I know you love that game.
I absolutely love Friday. It's one of my absolute favorites. Again, I think it was the top of my solo games on our solo game video, which you should check out as well. But that is my number 4.
So looking at number 3 now. Yeah.
Number 3 for me is War Chest. This is actually our second crossover game I think we had for
Small Samurai and War Chest. Yeah, just second.
So the second crossover we have with our 2 list, I absolutely love War Chest. It is a chess adjacent bag building game where you're getting to recruit these poker chips that have different units on them. You're building up your bag of different chess pieces essentially as you're pulling and playing them throughout the game. Gorgeous game. Something about, again, a tactile is really, really important to me. It's a satisfying game to play. I've kind of gone overboard. I've invested in like a few games I have like this where I've invested in upgrade components for the whole game.
Yeah, that neoprene mat is like game changing.
If you want to check it out, I highly encourage investing in a neoprene mat for the game because it makes it a lot easier. The core board is fine, but get a mat. Yeah. Love this game. It's gorgeous. It is my favorite chess adjacent game that I have. Always love to get it to the table. It plays 2 to 4 players. I think it plays best as a 2-player game. But War Chess by AEG is my number 3.
Looking at number 2 now. I know I got your number 1.
Yep. Oh, yeah, this one too.
Yep.
My number 2 is Root, a game of woodland might and right. It's another crossover game for us.
In fact, they both landed at number 2 on our...
Was it 2 for you?
Yeah, it was 2 on my list, yeah.
So we've had 2
spoilers if you haven't seen my video yet, sorry.
Of course. Fantastic game. And not only is it gorgeous, but it's asymmetrical, which I love. It is a great game to pull to the table because you can say, we're all in the mood for something different. Let's play Root by Leader Games because we're all going to be playing a very different game. Rob can play the Eerie Dynasty. I can play my wacky Vagabond. My brother can play his Riverfolk
someday,
merchant.
Some of these can actually hit you as the Vagabond.
Yeah, I love playing the Vagabond. It's the best character. Best faction, which happens to also just be a character.
Yeah.
But there's something for everybody in this series, particularly if you get the expansions. So much fun in this. So many different strategies you can play, and if you all mix up your factions each game, you can get so much replay out of this wonderful game. Again, the art is adorable. It's almost deceptively adorable because you don't expect it to be this heavy of a game with these little cats and raccoons and birds on the design of the game. Absolutely love it. It been on a bunch of top lists for the last 3 years. You can pick up the base game and be completely satisfied with it, but if you fall in love with it, you're going to be like a lot of Root players and spend way too much money on this game.
It's true. You have the entire shelf there.
I have all the expansions, the resin markers, the mats.
There's another expansion coming out next year, right?
Yes, which I will be picking up. But I absolutely love it. A lot of fun if you like this type of... essentially an area control game.
And if you do also pick up the resin markers for it, it is game changing to be able to see those clearings.
Yeah, even if you don't buy anything else, the resin markers to me like just make the game because it's so pretty sometimes they get lost.
At their booth at PAX U, the woman behind the counter was saying the same thing. She was like, "Yeah, no, it changes the way that you view the game and makes things so much easier." So
Root is my number 2.
Let's see what your number 1 is. I'm gonna be shocked.
My number 1 game in 2021, and probably for some time because I just love this game so much, is Cthulhu Death May Die. Another crossover game for us. This is by CMON Games, designed by Eric Lang. This is a 5 out of 5 for me on so many different reasons. I love this game. Getting anxiety out of you in such a positive way is...
We think... We haven't kept track of it too well. We'll do that for Season 2. We'll keep track of it. But for Season 1, we didn't keep track too well. But I think we have approximately a 25% win rate on this game.
Somewhere in that range. That or like around 30% win ratio.
It's not good.
No, but
you look online and that's everyone's win rate.
Yeah, it's... But like, it's one of those games you lose it and you're like, set it up again. Like, it's so much fun.
Especially when you lose in round 2, which we've done.
And this is a game where you win it and everyone kicks their chairs back, jumps up, and shouts because it is just such a cool victory. I really just love it. It's, in my opinion, and people will fight me on this, I'm sure, but it is the best Lovecraftian game I've ever played. Because yes, you're trying to stop a ritual, which is a lot of Lovecraftian games, but then you actually get to fight Lovecraftian monsters and cultists and actual elder ones in the game.
You get to fight. So in the base game, it's Cthulhu and Hastur. You've picked up Yog-Sothoth
and the Black Goat.
Yeah. Which we have not played with the Black Goat
yet. Not yet. But
Season 2.
That's one of the other thing about this game that I absolutely love is that everything is interchangeable. You can play with different investigators every game, a different episode every game, and I have 12 different episodes. You can play with a different elder one every game. It's so much fun.
Didn't you get the bonus episodes? The comic book one? Didn't that have an episode?
That's just investigators.
Oh, that's just investigators. Okay.
Yeah, so there's just so much to do. You can replay it over and over again. If you like kind of Call Cthulhu, Lovecraftian games, like if you haven't played this, I absolutely recommend it. I'm a huge Cthulhu nut. I love the game, love the art style of it.
It's another CMON game, so if you've enjoyed Zombicide, it shares enough in common with Zombicide that it's going to be an easy transition. In fact, we transitioned from playing Black Plague and Black Ops into playing Cthulhu when you picked it up, and it was a really easy transition.
Yeah, and it's actually, I love Zombicide, but this beats Zombicide for me.
Yeah.
Clearly,
it's your number 1.
It absolutely, and Zombicide's nowhere in there right now. Yep. I still love it, but this is just a very rewarding experience. The leveling in it, everything. I'll continue to gush over this game, but I'll get to wrapping it up. Definitely check it out, and I know it can be harder to find right now. I'm hoping that they eventually do more content with it. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. CMON Games. I know there's a lot of passion about the Zombicide, but this to me is, I don't know, it's a gorgeous game. Some of my favorite board game victories have been with this game.
And as a nice little segue there, starting in 2022, we're going to do we think it's going to be live. It might be pre-recorded. We haven't 100% locked that in yet, but we're going to do campaign play of Cthulhu Death May Die Season 2. So there'll be spoilers in there, but you can watch us get completely destroyed by cultists over and over and over again.
Yeah. So please check it out. Please check this game out. I cannot recommend it enough. If somebody has a copy of it, try it out. That's my top 10. How did you do?
Do you want to know?
Yeah. 7 out of 10?
8 out of 10.
8 out of 10. Nice.
Yep, I got Cthulhu, Root, Ratcatcher, Arnak, Unmatched, Twilight, which I'll call it 7 out of 10 because we talked about Twilight. War Chest, and Small Samurai.
Nice.
I expected you to have Rising Sun.
Oh.
And I expected Gloomhaven Jaws of the Lion.
I really enjoyed it, but I don't know, just...
No, after seeing your list, I get why it wasn't there.
Yeah, different variety, but...
Yep.
these are all games I'm passionate about. If you have questions, feel free to add them in the comments. We'll go ahead and get answers out to them. If you have games you want us to try that are in your list,
put your top 10s down in the comments below. Tweet them to us, whatever. And also remember to like and subscribe to this video. Share this video about. Please try to bump up our subscriber count. It really helps us do what we're trying to do.
Yeah, absolutely. And we'll be revisiting this later this year, end of this year, to let you know in 2022 if anything has changed in our top 10.
I have ADHD, so I can guarantee you mine will.
A couple will shift. I mean, it's just as we've been building our list and getting deeper into the hobby, shifted, like it's shifted, but it's part of the hobby, part of the experience. With that, we wish you good luck with all of your future board game adventures.
And thank you for joining us on ours.